Story time is starting soon. Are you combing your hair? I mean your fur, Uncle Ed?
Hi, Auntie Tammy.
Hello.
Hi, families at home. Well, I was thinking about the good old days. You see, when I was young, I won the Best Athlete Award in my school.
Wow, that's very nice. But why are you combing your fur now, Uncle Ed? Are you getting ready for story time?
Well, not exactly. Now that I'm older, I'm not as fit and not as handsome anymore. But I have a solution. Imagine how I would look if I had monkey spa treatment for 12 months.
Monkey spa treatment? Is there such a thing?
Oh yeah, there is. I saw it on a flyer. You want to try with me, Auntie Tammy? They will give you some fancy shampoo, some trimming, and then use some machine to make you look slimmer.
Oh, Uncle Ed, I think you look fine just the way you are. And as for me, I'm not a monkey, so I can't go to a monkey spa salon.
Well, maybe not a monkey spa, but I'm sure they have something similar for you too.
Well, maybe we'll talk about it later after the story. Now, by the way, Uncle Ed, I get why you want to do a monkey spa, but why do you want 12 months of it? That's a whole year. Wouldn't that be very, very expensive?
Well, that's because I was reading the Bible about Esther. Before she was brought to the king, she had a full beauty treatment for 12 long months.
Wow, 12 months.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember reading how detailed and meticulous those beauty treatments were.
They sure were.
Yeah, and Esther was already very beautiful when she entered the palace. I can't imagine how much more prettier she'll look.
Well, Esther's beauty treatment was certainly quite amazing. But God's plan for Esther and the Israelites were even more amazing. Esther was so brave, and God used that courage to save the whole nation of Israelites.
Wow. Oh, I can't wait to read it again, Uncle Ed.
Well, let's read the book again from Sonderkit's Heroes of the Bible Treasury, and it was illustrated by David Miles.
Okay, let's go.
Once there was a woman named Esther. She lived with her cousin Mordecai. Mordecai took care of Esther. Esther and Mordecai were Jewish. Together they loved and worshiped God. One day, the king of the land decided to look for a queen. "We will find you a queen," said the man who helped him. The man looked all over for a new queen. Soon they saw Esther. "We must take her to the king," they said. The man brought Esther to the palace. The king thought Esther was the most beautiful woman of all. "I want you to be my queen," said the king. And Esther said yes. There was a great celebration. Esther was happy. She lived in the palace. Esther's cousin, Mordecai, worked in the palace. Mordecai told Esther to keep her faith a secret, so Esther did not tell anyone she and Mordecai were Jewish. There was another man who worked in the palace. His name was Haman. He helped the king, but he hated Mordecai and wanted to be rid of all the Jews. Haman spoke to the king. "The Jews are bad. We don't need them in our kingdom." The king trusted Haman. He agreed to get rid of the Jews. Mordecai heard about Haman's plan. He went to warn Esther and see if she would help. Mordecai said, "Esther, you must stop the king from harming us." "If I go to him," Queen Esther said, "I will get in trouble. It is against the rules." But Mordecai knew Esther was the only one who could help. "Maybe God has made you queen so you could save the Jews," Mordecai said. Esther was afraid. She knew if she went to the king, she would be in danger. But Esther also knew God would want her to be brave, so she prayed for courage.
Oh, hi, Uncle Ed. Why did you stop reading? I'm sure the children and the families at home are waiting to find out what happened to Esther after.
Well, because I stopped because I had to pray.
Oh.
I want to pray for courage, just like Esther.
Oh, Uncle Ed, do you have some urgent prayer request?
Well, it's not exactly the same thing as what Esther was going through. You see, the weather has been so hot lately, and I just can't stop myself from eating all those cold and sweet treats like ice cream, popsicles, freezies. Just the thought of it makes me hungry.
Oh, wow. Nothing wrong for wanting a cold treat during the hot weather. So what is it that's bothering you?
Well, because I have been eating so much of these yummy food, like a popsicle in the morning, an ice cream for lunch, freezy for an afternoon snack, and then one more ice cream after dinner. I have gained 10 pounds over a month. Can you believe it? Oh, my belly is getting bigger and bigger, and I can no longer fit my monkey pants that I used to wear.
Oh, Uncle Ed, it's okay, Uncle Ed. Sounds like you're eating just a tad too much.
Well, way too much.
Oh, wait, is that why you wanted that beauty treatment? Oh, Uncle Ed. You know, remember what the Bible says when Samuel was looking for the next king after King Saul?
Well, yes, I remember that very well. The Lord said to Samuel, "Do not consider how handsome or tall he is."
Mm-hmm.
That refers to David's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Because God said, "I have not chosen him."
Mm-hmm.
The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outside of a person, but the Lord looks at what is in the heart.
Yeah, so God is more concerned about our hearts and whether we are making godly choices rather than how we look. Actually, I'm more concerned about your health than how you look. Maybe we can do some exercises together. And maybe just cut down a bit of those cold treats that you have.
Wait. But can I still have an ice cream every day?
Well, how about we talk about your diet later? Let's go back to our story first.
Okay. Soon Esther went to the king. She was still afraid, but the king was happy to see Esther. He did not punish her for coming to him. So Esther invited the king and Haman to a special dinner. "I will give you a fine feast if it pleases you," Queen Esther said. The king was happy and told her they would be there. Esther made a delicious meal. Esther, the king, and Haman sat together and ate. Then the king asked, "What do you want, my queen? You can have anything." Esther found the courage to speak. "Please spare the Jews. They are my people," she said. "Mordecai told me you have been tricked, my king." "Tricked? By whom?" roared the king. "Evil Haman," Esther said. The king was angry. "Take Haman and arrest him." He yelled to his guards, "Punish him for the bad things he has done." Now the king gave Mordecai an important job in the palace. "You are a good man, Mordecai," said the king. "I will trust you more than anyone else." All the Jews were finally safe. God had protected them with the help of Mordecai and Esther. Esther helped save the Jews by being brave and speaking up for God's people. She and her cousin Mordecai were heroes. "Hooray!" cried the Jews. It was a time of happiness and joy because of brave Queen Esther. Wow, even though I have read this story so many times, I still feel so impressed by Esther's courage and how she has rescued her people in the land.
Yes, Esther went to see the king uninvited to plead for his help, knowing that she may be punished by the king if he did not pardon her. But she fasted for 3 days, and God has helped her in keeping the Jews safe.
Yes. Now, did you know that every year the festival of Purim is celebrated by the Jews? It is a reminder when the Jewish people were saved from the evil plans of Haman in Persia. Jewish people celebrate by having parties, eating good food, I should be invited, and giving gifts of food and giving out to charities too.
Well, let us not forget that we can also be brave in following God's commands and trusting in God's guidance in our everyday life.
The Bible verse today is from Esther chapter 4, verse 14. What if you don't say anything at this time? The help for the Jews will come from another place, but you and your family will die. Who knows? It's possible that you became queen for a time just like this. And before we wrap up, we have a question from two of our viewers, Lucas and Jonathan. Let's see what their question is.
How big is Goliath compared to little David?
Well, Lucas and Jonathan, that's a very interesting question. I actually have to do some research to find out the answer. but I can't tell you a definite answer in spite of all the work I have done. Well, I can share with you that there were actually 2 different heights of Goliath recorded in different translations of the Bible. Some said that he was 4 cubits and a span tall, which works out to be about 2 meters tall. But most of the versions we read now said he was 6 cubits and a span, which makes him almost 3 meters tall. Now, just to give some perspective, the tallest man in recorded history by comparison was 2.7 meters tall, which is still 30 centimeters shorter than Goliath. So Goliath was huge. Now, David, by comparison, was only a boy at the time he fought Goliath. We did not know how tall he was, but we knew he was too small to wear King Saul's armor. Now, the scholar said King Saul was a tall man, and the Bible recorded that he was 1 head taller than everyone else. So we can imagine Saul was pretty tall than the average man, and David was a bit shorter than the average man because he was just a boy. So when you put all of that together, I think it's safe to say David was about half the height of Goliath. Now, I'm sure you know this, but God did not rely on the outer appearance or the height of David to defeat Goliath. Just like Esther was probably not the most physically strong woman, God still used her to rescue all the Jews. God used David, a small boy at the time, to kill the biggest giant we know, not Saul, who was already very big. Now, you can take courage too, that no giant is bigger than what you can handle, because our God is so big and so powerful. Well, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Uncle Ed. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. And remember, if you have questions, send it to us.
Right.
I love answering them.
Right. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.